Welcome to the BXG Podcast, the podcast where pop culture and nerd culture meet.
You think it's just going to be barbecue sauce?
Because if you actually read those books, it's just gobbledygook.
I really think clothes should be mandatory.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Captain America.
trailer reaction video. Tax collector. Run for tax collector.
Yeah, I'm not high. I am just I don't actually know. I just have a good amount of energy. I think it's because I don't have to work tomorrow. So I think that's it. I'm not tax collector be good. I like.
Do you know who the tax collector in Mercer County is?
No, I have no idea.
Mercer County, Pennsylvania. Matthew D. Fisher.
What's D stand for?
I don't know. Do you know who the tax collector is in Butler County, one county to the south?
Matthew B. Fisher?
Matthew E. Fisher.
Damn. Close.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah. Tax collector.
Sounds cool. Maybe I'll do that.
There you go.
So I want to do it. I want to get in there. Someday I'll be,
You're going to be running for politics.
Running for politics.
Personally, I try to run away from politics.
I like politics, though. I want to help this country, Brenton.
Then why would you get into politics?
Well, it's a good question.
Weird.
Let's do it. Let's get weird.
The Al Yankovic Story starring Daniel Radcliffe with a host of that's unfortunate. Carolina
Panthers won.
Yeah. We got to angle for a better draft pick, but
3-3 at home.
Home
field advantage.
Weird. The Al Yankovic Story, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Evan Rachel Wood, and a host of, I guess, Rainn Wilson. You'd put as more than just a cameo, but many cameos from just comedy royalty. Jack Black, Patton Oswalt, to name a few. This movie is available on the Roku channel, which you do not have to sign up for. It's completely free. And it is the completely accurate, totally not made up, and 100% authentic account of the life and times of Alfred Yankovic. Thoughts?
So where do we go from here? Because we've reached the pinnacle of movie making. Citizen Kane, Paddington 2, The Godfather Part 2, Goodfellas,
The Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back. All movies that are good. Good, we would say, generally speaking, we all think those are good movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happens. Greatest movie of all time? I just I 100%. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit, much like this movie may have done.
Just a touch.
I haven't enjoyed something like this. I don't think I've laughed this much at a movie. Actually laughed. I will think a movie's funny. And Brenton, you know me. I laugh, but I do a lot of fake laughing.
Mm-hmm.
The show, you crack me up. You're one of the few people, the kids the other day asked me what makes me laugh. And I couldn't actually say what makes me laugh because they would be offended. But I want to be well, my friend Brenton makes me laugh. And that's kind of it. Not a lot of stuff actually makes me really laugh. I'll say something's funny. And I like jokes about the Titanic or Kennedy getting his head blown off. I like things like that make me laugh. Those things make me laugh. This movie made me laugh for the hour and 40 minutes that it is. The whole way, I didn't stop laughing. I thought it was just so stupid and so funny, and so much of because Weird Al was a writer on this.
Mm-hmm.
All he cared about was making people laugh. And we don't get movies like that anymore. There's movies, even funny movies have to make a point.
Right.
There was absolutely no point to this movie other than I want to make people laugh.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, but even the disagreement is contextual, but continue.
Okay. Well, I would say the point is making fun of all the other biopics.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That was
That was the thing, which like you and I have gone back and forth of like biopics are mostly terrible. They're very much like everything has it's a bullet point of what we have to do. And so he does all that. He literally hits all of them. Like he just slices them with a sword. And he's just like, I'm alive. My history. Like we all know like if you care about Weird Al, and the thing I found out was that Janie, my fiance, maybe you'll dingo ate your baby, but I did not know she was this huge Weird Al Yankovic fan. I did not know. She had like every CD that he's ever had in the 90s, 80s, 90s. And then she just rapped to me Amish Paradise. Did the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, so the impact that he had. And then this movie is like, I was the greatest living musician ever made. And then I get shot at the end and I'm dead.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's it. And that's the movie. And it's like, it was beautiful and it was hilarious. And Daniel Radcliffe should probably be nominated for, I'm not even joking. I think he should be nominated.
I think that's a bit.
I honestly, the reason why is because he plays this 100. He plays this actually 100. He's 100% in this idea of this. And like, isn't that acting? Isn't that acting to be 100% in on it? I thought it was so funny. I thought it was so well done. And I think the last time I laughed at a movie this much was The Hangover. Like, where you're just...
Bridesmaids?
I do not like... Bridesmaids is funny to me, but Bridesmaids is a lot of me going, that was funny. Which is good, but...
The bathroom scene in Bridesmaids. The bathroom scenes in Bridesmaids is
hilarious. But beginning end, that was like the middle of the movie. That was the only part where I really legitimately laughed out loud. This movie, the first scene in this movie, I'm done. I was just like, I just paused it. I paused it, texted you, and I'm like, we're good. And I just knew what we're getting into, and for me, just a bomb, an absolute bomb out of the park. More than I expected, exactly what I wanted, but like better than that. That's it. That's all I'd say. It's so funny and so good.
I know. I sometimes I say things and they're in absolutes and people get like, what are you talking about? Oh, that's not, what do you mean that Day Shift is the best Netflix movie ever? If you're not smart enough to understand the context behind that,
right.
then that's a problem. But I think that this is probably one of the best comedies. I'm not going to say the best because people are, well, what do you mean? I think that this is one of the best comedies in the last 10 years. Honestly, I think that they really missed an opportunity by not taking this to theaters and leaving it on a free channel. And maybe that was yeah, but
I'm just saying that like, we don't know the logistic of money. You know what I mean? Like there's a thing where like this also goes up against like a week from now or today now Black Panther.
But I don't think like, I don't necessarily think that the same people, and this might have gotten a limited, I don't know. I don't necessarily think the same people that are seeing this are the same people seeing Black Panther. I mean, there's a Venn diagram, obviously, but I don't know how.
Right.
But I just as so this movie, most of it was complete nonsense, right?
I guess.
In terms of being factual, here are some of the things that were alluded to in the movie that were in fact true. He did get his first accordion from a traveling salesman.
Mm-hmm. He grew up in Inglewood and went to Cal Poly.
Dr. Demento was a key figure in his life early on in his early career. The breakthrough hit My Bologna was recorded in a bathroom. many musicians did get the Yankovic bump, and that's something I want to come back to. His stage name came from being weird growing up, and those are kind of the limit of what doesn't get stretched. I think here are also the 10 best cameos in the movie. Conan O'Brien as Andy Warhol.
So good.
Dimitri Martin as Tiny Tim. Jack Black as Wolfman Jack. Quintina Brunson as Oprah Winfrey. Paul F. Tompkins as Gallagher. That was really well done. Thomas Lennon
awesome.
as the accordion salesman. Emo Phillips as Salvador Dali. That was really funny too.
That was hilarious.
Will Forte as Ben Scotty. Jorma Taccone as Pee Wee Herman. Akiva Schaffer as Alice Cooper. And then not even on here is the dude from that's in like Suicide Squad, and I can't think of his name. It's like a really difficult to pronounce name. Dommel Scheimer or something like that. He plays Polka Dot Man, and then he's like the Eastern European guy in Ant-Man. Him is just the dude from Queen that nobody knows.
That was so funny. Yes.
Yeah. The movie was preposterous the whole way through, and I think that's what you have. A man who is known for parody songs, and then his movie that is about him is just the perfect parody of those musician biopics, like you said.
And he's in it. We forgot to mention he's in it too.
He's in the movie. Lin-Manuel Miranda was another one. The Song and Dance Man. I just the only thing to nitpick this, to draw back a little bit, is that they dubbed Al's voice in on the songs.
When you send me that before I watched it, I was like, okay, and it bummed me out. But then when I actually watched, I didn't care, because it's like his voice is so much that thing where it's like, even if Daniel Radcliffe could come close, there's something about Weird Al's voice.
Yes.
That is just the thing. And it's like, he does the acting so well. I will say, like, in other times, like Rami Malek did not act well enough to do the voice. It just didn't seem like it fit. But Daniel Radcliffe, who's probably underrated as an actor because he's Harry Potter, and then but the guy's like a stage legend. Like, he's actually a very good like Broadway actor and things like that, where he does this so well that I don't care. I thought I would care. When you sent me that, I was like, oh no. And then I literally, the first time he does it, I was like, I don't care, because Weird Al's voice is
distinct. Yeah.
It's so distinct. And not to say that like there aren't other biopics where people's voices aren't so distinct, but there is something about Weird Al that I also think it's because it's Weird Al. It doesn't sound weird, but it's like there's a thing where like it should be Weird Al.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Sounds weird. The Yankovic bump was a very, very real thing in the 80s and 90s. I don't think it's necessarily as much of a big deal now. He also hasn't had an album in like 7 years, but I think that the Yankovic bump was most evident by the fact that, and they really, really, really embellish the relationship with Madonna.
He met her for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
In real life.
But she was actually the one that suggested like a surgery.
Yeah.
And it was because she was hunting that bump, the Yankovic bump.
Yep.
And it was said that he usually didn't take suggestions from especially the artist, but that one seemed so obvious that he still made it. But I think early on, he was more famous for doing Michael Jackson. He did a couple of Michael Jackson songs and what have you. Some of his newer stuff is really, really funny. I think a lot of people, especially our age, know the Bad Hair Day album, Amish Paradise, a couple other songs that are on there. Maybe a little bit also Straight Outta Linwood, the White and Nerdy album. But his last album, like I said, it's been 7 years since Mandatory Fun came out, is really,
it's really funny.
really funny. And I will say too, and it was funny that they riffed on Eat It being the original and he got ripped off by Michael Jackson. Some of his original songs are really funny too. Dare to Be Stupid is one of my favorite Weird Al songs. Probably it cracks the top 5. And I've said forever that I think that Al Yankovic is immensely talented. And I think that people who look down on him because he's just changing the words to other people's songs, it's like people started doing that on YouTube in the last maybe like 10 or 15 years, but this guy's been doing it for 40 years and no one has ever even come close to the level of success that he's had. He's won like 3 Grammys.
It's smart. That's the thing. It's like
it's
you can just change lyrics. Yeah. Because he knows what he's doing. Like he knows the whole thing. The videos are very funny.
Yes.
The videos really sell it too. Because he came of age during MTV. Like he hit that perfect thing of music videos actually mattered.
Right.
Because if you watch like the Eat It video, which was just released yesterday in 4K, but if you watch it, like it's so funny. Like it's so perfect. He's so mad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he knows exactly, and there's something about that. Like there's something about that. And I think that's what makes this movie so good. Is like as stupid and as silly as all this is, he took it very seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think that's the cool thing about Weird Al is like he takes this seriously because like it's so dumb.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you give this out of 10?
In all seriousness, it's a 9.5. Like honestly, like for me, it's so funny. It's like the only flaw I would say for me is like I actually wish it was a little longer. I wish there was like more stuff they made fun of in the middle of it because it was so quick when it was done. He gets shot and that's it, which is hilarious. I could have went for maybe not like much longer, but maybe like 7 more minutes of just something because I think he's so funny and so creative. But this is my other thing is like that leave you wanting more, which is so rare now.
Right.
And so
and everything's a franchise and everything gets a sequel and they did kind of allude to. But the other thing is that this really only covers like the first 10 or 15 years of his career. And there's
the funny is Amish Paradise is thrown into the 80s bit, which it didn't even come into 1995, I think. So
I don't know, whenever that song was.
But it's
Coolio.
So I'm basing it like 9.5. It's not saying like it's a 9.5 compared to the scale of like, but based on what this movie is.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing as when we gave The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, whatever score we gave it was like an 8.
And I think we have like a 13 out of 10 or whatever.
Well, that's a different.
I will say that. I will say those 2 movies.
Mm-hmm. I need to watch that.
They're not going to get nominated for Best Picture or anything.
No.
At all. But holy crap. Right? I mean, I think that's the only way I really say like, holy crap. Like we live in an era where like those movies exist and people probably haven't seen either of these movies. Like the wide majority of people haven't seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because like they're both so well done and kind of understand that idea of making a movie is to entertain us. At the end of the day, isn't that it?
It's just it's sad that comedy has become like a niche genre. Like real comedy is like a niche drama at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sad.
Where would you give it, Brian?
For what it was trying to accomplish, I give it a 9. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yep.
It's very good.